Good morning, Janine. Always takes about a minute for the comments to start trickling in. I guess you probably get to see a welcome ad, right? I saw you posted some sort of a live stream. I might have to go back and watch that one. I'm in for a weird live stream. Heck, I'd be willing to make this a weird live stream. Hmm. Yeah, definitely have to go check it out. Morning, Darth. Say hey to Darth. Say it. He said meow. At least you could do is say hi. Heck, the least you could do is look at the camera. He's in a weird mood. Because he's usually got such a camera presence. Well, it was my long week this week at work, and so that means I'm my long weekend this weekend. So that's a good thing. But made it through it. Didn't have any major problems. Long weeks are brutal, but I'm sure glad when they're over. I'll wander around and see if I can find something to vlog this week. Oh, eating, pooping, sleeping, same old, getting brushed. I'm trying to give him a lot more attention these days because I know I'm kind of his only connection to anything else alive. So I try and find some bite time every day. He doesn't hate it, I'll say that. Sometimes it's better just to get the camera straight on me here than tipping my head to see what's going on. Good morning, Gene. Need to do a food vlog, huh? I don't know. Yeah, maybe I should cook something. It's been a while. And do I get to call it bites and nibbles anymore? I don't know. That might be kind of creepy. Yeah, Mexican would be good. Oh, I can't complain, Gene. I'm going into my long weekend, so I'm good to go. Oh, that's my David Omen house t-shirt from that house, a couple houses down from the Manson house. I just thought that was a good one to wear today. And it was like the next one on the stack. So thanks. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed the vlogs. I've been actually meaning to ask on the live stream, what did you think of the clip show? Was that good? Should I do that again? I don't know. I'd kind of been thinking about a clip show for a while, in another form. I'm actually working on a blooper reel, but I don't have enough material yet for that. But like I said, all those videos just dropped on my lap from Facebook, and I said, you know what? There's some fun stuff here. Yeah, Darth thinks I should, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, yeah, I don't want to do a lot of them, but I could think of at least two others I could do. I could do like a best of exactly, Darth. Maybe let the viewers vote. Make nominations and then vote on which ones you think we should do. But then, like I said, I also got the blooper reel at some point that may pop up. I don't know. Would people vote for that? We'll see. Yeah, that's something that like we that's in the universe now, so we might think about that. Actually, I got to do a grill repair vlog. Maybe that's something I need to work on. I got to take it apart and figure out why a couple of the burners aren't igniting. Yeah, I'm sure we could find something. Like I said, you put it up to let you guys choose, make nominations. What do you if you were to choose? What would you be your favorite video of mine? That kind of thing. The prize is you get to watch the video. And of course, if I do a best of, or well, no, of course, if I do a blooper reel, I'm gonna have a laugh track on it. So it'll probably be kind of goofy and funny. And of course, the blooper reel one will also include a number of times where I like trip over my tongue when I'm trying to do a line, and then I'll end up dropping a few F bombs. So, that will it'll be a not safe for work kind of thing. The cat's live streaming on the couch. Yeah, that's true. We could pick favorite moments in the live streams too, right? Because I can download all those and pull clips out of them. I like it. It's a good computer. I haven't had any real problems with it. There's one little minor annoying thing about it because I don't power it down all the time. I usually just turn the monitors off when I'm not using it, and it takes a really long time for the monitors to power back up when you turn them on. The old computer, you turn it on, the monitor was on in 1 or 2 seconds. It takes 30 or 45 seconds sometimes, but other than that, I love it. It's a great computer. I've ever since that first video where I had it online and had the Premiere installed on it. I've edited every video since then on the new computer with the Premiere software. So I still got to figure out how to do some fun things, but I'm also thinking maybe of just doing kind of a goofy video where I experiment with stuff I can do in Premiere and see if I can find something some kind of fun, interesting things to do for real videos. No, I guess I got to go check out Jordan's live stream. There's still one more piece I need to get for the computer, and that is I need a good computer chair. I still got the old one, and just haven't done that yet. Because that old chair, the chair I have, it's junk. It was something I bought when I moved here, and it wasn't high quality furniture. I heard, yeah, I saw that. I saw the video of that, Gene. That was amazing. A couple people died. I heard that somebody's going to lose their job for that. How do you drive or float a boat, that tall under the Brooklyn Bridge and not ask yourself, hey, is this going to be a good idea? Boy, yeah, that video, because I've seen it from several angles now, because a lot of people got it. Because I mean, when you see it going there, you can tell it's going to hit the bridge because you can tell it's a good 15, 20 feet taller than the bridge is. It was, there was no denying it. You've seen that thing go there. So a lot of people had a chance to get their camera. Oh, this is going to be good. Get the camera out. Get video going here. Oh yeah, that thing's made out of stone. That thing's made out of granite. That'll be there forever. I mean, a granite bridge versus yeah, a wood mast. I'll bet on the bridge every day. Usually, when the screw up is that bad, it does. It was a beautiful ship. Well, I was wondering that too. What did the cars see the mast coming? Because they had to, and they had to realize, oh, this isn't going to be good. Because yeah, I was thinking of that too, man. What do those cars think? Because I when I saw what was about to happen, I started watching the cars because I had to see how they were going to react. Some of those people are probably wondering, oh man, is this going to make the bridge collapse? I mean, they saw what happened when that barge hit that other bridge, like 6 months ago. What, in Baltimore? Is that where it was? And perhaps so was the captain, Darth. Yeah, make it into a movie, right? Yeah, you're right, Gene. Those are going to be amazing. Yeah, I don't know. How do you get that distracted, though? Holy cow. Oh, man. Can you imagine if it was a woman? I didn't even think about that. Just how ironic that would be. Not. I know. Yeah, that's another thing, another DEI hire. But that was the Mexican ship too, so that's going to be Mexico has to deal with that. Is that the one that ran aground and tipped over? I think where the pilot just took off, or the captain. Hmm. I've heard about the herd tapes. I haven't actually heard them yet. But I mean, what am I going to learn about Biden that I didn't already know? I knew he wasn't 100% when he ran or when he won in 2020. Hey, Dot. Haven't seen you in a while. Well, I'll wait until they start perp walking people before I start, getting excited because, this kind of stuff tends to turn into nothing burgers. Oh, Dot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check those out. I mean, I'm sure. I'm kind of plowing through Mark Levin right now. I'm sure he'll cover it. But yeah, I should probably check those out. It just shows that everybody knew it and they just all covered it up. And it wasn't even a good secret. Everybody out here knew it too. Yeah, I am. I'm trying to contact space aliens. That's it exactly. No, actually, what it is, there was something I found over at the rock show. There are these little spikes that have all these little um, beads on it, for lack of a better term, and you basically just stick them in the ground. It's just little interesting conversation points, a little something to look at. And I said, I'm going to buy four of those, and we're going to put those in the planters. So for now, they're going to stay here. I was actually looking at it. It's actually kind of funny because it's just a really really long screw, and it starts with uh, a knob for like a bathroom cabinet or something like that, and then they put the beads on it, and then there's just a nut at the end that holds it all together, and then you just kind of stick it in the ground. And so there's several of them. They're different colors and different kinds of beads, and I thought they were all kind of cool. And she had different ones, so I just kind of got one for each of the four quadrants. That's one of the things I'm kind of thinking about right now is, what I'm going to do to kind of, make that area look cool and, be kind of fun. Because, I'm going to put lighting in there and, who knows what else. I've always liked to have kind of a little chill spot in my yard. I had one in the house in California too. It was under the patio cover. It was kind of a little enclosed outdoor room. They had the pond in there and a planter, and it was actually kind of a neat place to hang out. Yeah, that's it. There's a sun catcher. Oh, it was hundreds of miles away. I wasn't even aware of it. That's on the west side of the state. What I didn't. I guess I wasn't even really that aware of it. Let's actually go see if I can. I assume it happened recently, right? Let's go check here. Yeah. See. Okay. Here, I'll show you. Okay. So yeah. basically all the earthquakes that have happened in Texas. And you can see over here, you got Dallas and Austin. Basically, Waco is kind of right between those two, so you can see how far things are away. Let's see. Okay, let's load this. So the largest first. And see, it wasn't even a big earthquake, a 3.2. Heck, we had 3.2s once a year or so in California. But you can see all the earthquakes kind of over here on the west side of the state. It's because they're doing all the oil drilling there, and the ground is actually subsiding because of it. But yeah, that's a long way away from me. So yeah, tornadoes. Now I've been hearing a lot about tornadoes. We were supposed to get some severe weather yesterday, but it didn't do anything. But um, I was couple nights ago. We had some kind of severe weather go through here. Got a lot of rain in a very short period of time, and I remember hearing the weather radio going off all the time, saying about where it was. And at that point, it was already past us. But yeah, I've been hearing about some pretty serious tornadoes. Now I'm still out of range. It's going to take more than a 3.0 earthquake, 300 miles away or whatever that is, to get my attention. Now, the biggest threat here is just the tornadoes and the hail, and those you at least have a little bit of warning they're coming. No, I actually got to do some work on my grill. Only one of the burners works. I don't know. It probably just got plugged up or something like that. But I got to take it apart and figure out what's going on. That might be a vlog this week. To be honest, John, she should never have never allowed him to run the first time. He wasn't up to it then, and he only got worse. It got obviously worse when he was in office. Well, I mean that just undermines the credibility of the people who are on the View. I don't know. I don't know about that. I will tell you kind of a story though from California once. I had a problem where I suddenly found out that my dryer stopped working. And I couldn't figure out why. And so I decided to take it because everything seemed to be working. There was heat, but clothes that would go through the cycle and they'd be still wet. And I couldn't figure out why. I ended up taking the thing apart, and it turns out that a rat had built a nest inside part of the exhaust system of the dryer. And when the dryer turned on and the air started pushing, it pushed the whole nest and plugged up the hole and trapped him inside the dryer, and he basically cooked alive. I found the corpse when I opened it up. No, I just think I probably got some some juice or something on one of the burners, and it's just not. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. There's something in there. Ratatouille. Yeah, right. Yeah, it happened in California. Wow. He's trying to decide whether he's going to come visit me again. He's ready for some more brushing. Free heat too. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a treat if he comes up. Right now, he's up on his hind legs with his front paws on the couch. Okay, yeah, I think he's going to go for it here. We'll see. Here he comes. He's thinking about it. There we go. You don't want a treat, do you? Yeah, why would you want a treat, huh? See, this is mostly just the little ones now, dude. You get down to the bottom of the barrel, and basically I've grabbed all the big ones. Now it's just little ones in there, isn't it? You see them, all the little ones? You're wondering yourself, can I get my head in there? Can I get my head in there? How glorious would it be if I could get my head in there? I think your head's too fat to fit in there, dude. Just saying. Been a long time since your head would fit in there. Likely because you're always eating treats like this. Yeah, he likes his treats. Now, just for good measure, he's going to lick the inside of the bowl just to make sure he gets every last morsel. Yeah, that's your hero. Yeah, I guess I heard that. I was at the 60th. Well, that's actually what I'm here is just to make Gene giggle. I mean, I put that in the description, right? Yeah, it's in my family too. My grandfather was kind of intermediate stages of it. He hadn't gotten to the point where he forgot everyone, but we had to put him into a place that could take care of him because he would just wander off. And so they kept him safe, and he passed another way before that happened. My dad was beginning to decline a little bit too. Uh, Before I left California, we were talking about taking away his driver's license. I was getting to that point, and you know Fortunately, we didn't have to go, have to do that because, you know, other things happened and kind of forced the situation. But a ghost vlog would be fun. I mean, I still have a few friends that are working at Disneyland that I hear from, but we don't really talk about Disneyland. It really isn't that, it isn't really that important to me anymore. I mean, I've thought to myself, I'd actually like to kind of change the name of the vlog, Escaping the Mouse, because I'm past the mouse. I've escaped the mouse. The mouse is a distant memory, but it's really hard to do now because, you know, part of the word escaping the mouse is part of my YouTube address. So, that would be hard. So I think we're just stuck with it, but whatever. It didn't age as well as Days with Jordan the Lion. Let's just put it that way. Well, eventually the stockholders are gonna rebel and they'll say, "Hey, you got to stop this." But you know what? Whatever. It's their business to run the ground. What they say: the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Look what they did to Star Wars and Marvel. Yeah, fortunately, my grandfather and my dad never got that bad. But yeah, I hear all the time about, they don't even remember who I am anymore or think you're someone else. Yeah, that'd be great. Get a studio out there making movies, making something original. I don't like hearing that. Oh, they're gonna remake something. It's like, really, are we really that out of ideas? One of my favorite horror movies is called Reanimator, and I heard recently they're gonna try and remake that, and I thought, oh, please don't. It'll be horrible. 'Cause there's just certain movies you can't do again. You're never gonna make them as good as the original, and that's one of them. And a lot of times you end up ruining the original. Not necessarily plantations, but there's a lot of ranches around here. I think this era will be considered the lost era of movies. hopefully there'll be something to come back and make them look good again. There are supposedly some haunted houses in Texas, and apparently there's like a haunted house walk sometimes that I've heard from time to time. I actually like a lot of the superhero and comic movies, but um, they've taken the same beating because of Disney that Star Wars did. Waco is doing a lot to try and revitalize its downtown area. There's lots of like trendy little clubs and stuff going on down there. Another kind of hot spot around the area is over by the silos, and there's like that Mexican restaurant Hecho in Waco that I've been threatening to go to is right there, and a couple other fun things. So they're doing a lot. Chip and Joanna Gaines have done a lot to revitalize Waco. Yeah, I heard about that, Gene. That was horrible. It's always sad when something like that is lost. The Silo of Screams nightclub. Yeah, unfortunately that only goes on weekends and only in the month of October. They don't actually. I don't think they live in town. I think they live over what is it? Where the Bushes live, Crawford. I think they have a ranch in Crawford. I don't think they hang out around the silos. I don't know. They've probably been there, but used to live near Anaheim. I like wandering around the downtown area though. It's just, there's some kind of funky little shops down there. It's kind of fun. I still love kind of the small town feel that Waco has. I would say there would probably be a better than 50-50 chance I'd get some sort of a response. I don't know if I'd actually get an interview. Yeah, they own it, but they don't manage it. And I don't know how often they're there. I've been there a couple of times and I've never seen them there. Apparently they show up from time to time. Some of the local businesses, especially like antique shops and stuff like that, advertise that Chip and Joanna have been there. Hopefully, it's supposed to get a little rain tomorrow. Seems kind of overcast and kind of windy outside right now. I'm not really sure what a magnolia tree looks like, so I don't know if I'd be able to identify one. I don't have any in my yard, I think. No, I've never tried making candy or anything like that. Let's see if I can figure out what a magnolia tree looks like. Oh, okay. I guess I know what those are. No, I don't see a lot of those. Ice cream, popcorn. Yeah, I never thought about making my own, candy or anything like that. Wonder if I could do it in the Instant Pot. I would guess probably not. I'm not really a candy person, although I got into Jolly Ranchers. I always liked Jolly Ranchers, but I've been eating more of those because my dad really liked Jolly Ranchers, and especially at the end when he was like having problems swallowing and stuff like that. You know, Jolly Ranchers allowed him to keep his throat moist, and so he ate a lot of those in his final month or so. And I doubt there's a recipe for making my own Jolly Ranchers. I would guess the candy kind of things would be stuff that's like chocolate based. There's a recipe for homemade Jolly Ranchers. That's funny. Make my own flavor. I think strawberry ice cream was the first ice cream I made, and it was the best strawberry I ever had. Best strawberry ice cream I ever had. It was really good. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dot. I forgot who I was talking to. Yeah, I don't know. It depend. That would be a factor, is it going to take a lot of time to do it? But I don't know. A good fudge recipe might be fun. I wouldn't mind knowing how to do that. I only got actually one thing at the rock store this week, but it was something I was looking at. I've been looking at for a while. Well, not for a while, but because it's only been there for a short time. But honestly, I think Kara completely blew it the way she put this in the store. Because when I look at this thing at home um, under the light, it just sparkles like you can't believe. It also is massively heavy. It's probably one of the largest pieces I own now. Okay. And it isn't really even that special, except for the color. This is another piece of fluorite. And, this thing's a little larger than a basketball, probably weighs about 30 pounds. Uh, and I really like the fluorite, but I thought it was, and I've got a lot of fluorite. But the thing is, fluorite is usually this color, is green. And I'd never seen blue fluorite before. And she had this massive piece that she'd come across, and she gave me a good deal on it. And this one, like fluorite, this one glows under the black light, and so that's really cool. But she told me that the guy was thinking he was going to break it open and see what was inside of it, and she said at the time, no, don't do that. And I thought to myself, yeah, no, that would have ruined that if you did that. That one actually, we might end up having that be like a doorstop or something like that because that's so big. But yeah, it's a beautiful piece. It's a beep when exposed to the moonlight. I don't know. I haven't tried that, Doc. Let's see. My dad was 82, and my mom 84, I think. But like I said, it had some really, when you hit that thing with just white light, it just and move around, it just sparkles like you can't believe. I didn't even realize that until I got it home and looked at it. It was like, how did you miss this, Kara? But some of the coolest pieces I get to are things that, have features that Kara never even picked up. Yeah, this fluoride piece looks really nice under a black light. Here, actually, look, I'm gonna move it here because I can't hold it with the end to aim the light at it. So I'm gonna put it on the thing behind me so I can let you see that. And see, I think I'm gonna put that inside on the front here. Move some junk around here. And then we're gonna put that right about there, I think. Because it's just not one of those pieces I can balance in one hand and aim the light at it with the other. It's just a little too big for that. Okay. Yeah, so just like regular fluorite, which does some kind of cool stuff under the black light. this stuff pops too. You can see it looks really great under the black light too. Same kind of glowing that you see. And see that's always kind of what makes this interesting too, because you got the green colored stone, but then when you hit it with the light, it turns blue. I really like that one too because of all the weird stuff going on in that one. But yeah, that one does some good stuff. So that's a keeper. Like I said, that was the only thing I picked up this week. Yeah, and you're not seeing uh, the half of it. It doesn't look half as good on camera as it does in real life, especially under bright light. Yeah, I paid a little bit of money for that one. Oh yeah, it does kind of blend in with Matt's video, doesn't it? I got to frame that up better though. I'm blocking the camera with a rock. I don't know if I can move this from this angle. We're just going to have to put up with it. Disco rock. I did show you my megalodon tooth, didn't I, Darth? Because I did get one of those. I got one at the rock show. Why? I was hoping you weren't being a part of a problem Trump channel. There's a couple little clubs that bring in music, but not any like large kind of clubs that could support something like that. There's a little place downtown, almost seems like a cowboy bar kind of thing, but they got a big outdoor area, and they bring in bands. Some of them you actually heard of, and stuff that wouldn't expect to find in a cowboy bar kind of setting. I actually did a vlog in that place once. That's right there by the silos too. I think it's called the Backyard Grill or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if there's any clubs big enough for Guided by Voices to play. Hello, Linda. Welcome to the party. Right here at the stroke of noon. No Texas two-step for me. You mean changing members? Because yeah, there's been a lot of people that come in and out of the band over the years. The first years, it was kind of a small group of guys that kind of were there a lot, but occasionally they'd bring people in. And at one point, they fired the whole band and hired another band to beat the band Forgotten by Voices, and then there was a new lineup that was because at one point Bob fired the band that was hired to be the band, but kept the guitar player and went through a number of drummers that included Jimmy McPherson from the Breeders, and wound up with a guy named Kevin March. Kevin March is still with the band, and there's Mark Sue. I'm not that familiar with him because he was kind of coming in when I was kind of reaching my twilight years as a Guided by Voices fan. It just got to the point where that it was a lot to keep up with, and just I didn't have enough time to get into an album before the next thing was out. It just turned out to be too much. But they're still out touring and releasing albums. They're successful enough, they're making a living at it. Now I'm from the I don't dance and nobody wants to see me try it school of dance. I don't think it was a feud for the most part. I know some people got kicked out of the band and were excommunicated basically for crossing Bob. But for the most part, I think every all the former members of the band are on pretty good terms with Bob. So I wouldn't call it a feud. It's just Bob. Guided by Voices is Bob and whoever he's playing with. And every once in a while, Bob just likes to shuffle the deck. Although he's been playing with the current band for a long time now. Because the lead guitar player, Doug Gillard, he was there when, all the time I was a fan. And Kevin March came in last couple of years that I was solidly following the band. And so he's been around for a while. Good afternoon, Nancy. No, I mean Bob is the creative person there. He's the one that writes all the songs for the most part. But um, I think it is more of a collaborative effort. I think in terms of making the music. I think Bob usually does a demo on like a with an acoustic guitar, and then the band kind of turns it into that. So I think the band is Bob is the head. They aren't just the band. I think a lot of times I think Bob was always trying to find a way to kind of, make the music they played more sound like what he had in his head. And sometimes early on, he was limited by his player, his band's abilities. And so he's been kind of forming his own super band now. And, everyone in the band right now is, really, is a really solid musician. It was more of a party band, I think, before, because, the rhythm guitar player would get so drunk he'd fall off the stage from time to time. And I think that was part of what I really liked is just it was a bunch of guys getting drunk and banging out great rock songs. And when it started getting more precise and more, precision and all that, it just I don't know. No, I'm sure Bob gets a bigger share than the rest, but I don't think he's ripping off his musicians either. Their talent, he recognizes that he needs their talent, so I'm sure he compensates them well. It's stormy out there today, all overcast and windy. Got really quiet in here all of a sudden. Yeah, no sandstorms here. We still have fire advisories from time to time. I'll probably try and do something this week. The area is finally dry from that rain we got a couple weeks ago. So, and now that I got the electrical plumbing under the stone, it'll be easy to get going on this again. Yeah, it's probably in the mid 80s here, but kind of it. When you don't have the sun baking down on you, 80s is and it's kind of breezy. Even if it's a warm wind, it isn't so bad. But additionally, this project is kind of it's just something to work on for a while. So it isn't a rush to get it done. I'll take it as we do it. It'll just be a gradual process. It's just fun to have a little project like that you can work on when you're ready to. Hey, I want to go do something. Oh yeah, let's put some stones in here, or let's move some dirt around. Yeah, it won't be long until. I mean, it's actually supposed to be pretty warm this week, but I guess there's supposedly a cool front coming through, and by cool front, it's going to drop into the mid 80s. I'm not working fast enough for Dot, huh? Well, when I get done with the whole project, I'll take the whole project and put it in a time lapse video, and you'll be able to watch the whole thing in 20 minutes. It's going to take so many of those bricks to build that thing, though. Man, my back hurts already. Yeah, there's a family of like three squirrels that are constants in the yard. I think they live in the tree that used to be next to where that's where the pool used to be. I think they got a nest up there. I don't know. I don't know. I got to be in the mood for a restaurant vlog. That's usually how it comes. I'm in the mood for something. It's like I have actually thought that very thing, Gene, about you know, we did if like the football team needed new uniforms or something like that, let them come, send 20 guys to my house and haul them all in. That'd be something I could do once we get the basic level set, because once the basic level is set, then it's just a matter of you know putting the stones on top of each other. You could just mass produce that. Look who came back. Let's get all the fur off there first. Can't believe there's 20 people in here watching me brush my cat. Oh yeah, you just expect that's gonna keep coming, don't you? You look at me like I'm the bad guy when it stops. Oh yeah, he loves the brushing. Mexican does sound good. Yeah, I'm gonna rotate you around, dude. There we go. That's the tail right there. Now there's 18 people. Okay, two of you figured, yeah, why am I watching this guy petting his cat, brushing his cat? I got paint I gotta go watch dry. Ask you a question. I don't know. What question should I ask you? That rock? Yeah, I like that rock. Like I said, it's usually green in color, and I got a lot of fluorite, but I'd never seen one that was blue like that before. Okay, here's a question. You know a lot about my hobbies. What are your hobbies? What do you guys like to do besides sit here and watch me stroke my cat? Oh, that sounded kind of obscene, didn't it? But if you're watching me, is it really solitaire? No, I haven't really thought about what I'm going to do after the live stream today. It's not my week to go rock shopping. I did that last weekend and the weekend before that and the weekend before that. So I bought a lot of rocks in the past few weeks. Thank you, Gene. Yeah, the cover photo was one of many. Let me show you the photos I was actually planning on. I used that I was going to consider showing this morning. Hang on, I can do that. Okay, I can do these funny little cutaways. Okay, so that's the actual photo that we used for the cover this morning. But and that was one of those plants that I planted, I think, just last weekend. And that's the hydrangea in the backyard. That's starting to look real nice. I thought that was kind of a cool picture. And I shot a couple of each picture just because I wanted to, see which one looked best. Another angle of the same hydrangea. That was one that I considered for the cover photo. I was gonna zoom in just on the flowers themselves, so you wouldn't see all the background or all the border around the outside of it. Just focusing on the flowers themselves. That's in the front yard. That's one of those things that I told you about that came back, and it's only interesting for a day or two, and then it's done. And then this is actually one of the ones that was that it ended up being the one we end up using. And I considered that one. I thought that one was pretty. Oh, I was wondering where that went. Yeah, there you go. That's a close-up picture of that rock I got. And look at how it sparkles. Let's play that one again. So yeah, that's that piece I got behind me, a little closer up. That's definitely an easier way of looking at it than me having to try and balance it in front of the camera. So yeah, I was wondering where that picture went. I knew I shot video like that. John doesn't like the rocks. Okay. See you, Gene. Thanks for stepping in. All right. Thanks for coming in, John. Good seeing you. Yeah, I really like that one, Nancy. I mean, like I said, I didn't see any of the sparkle when the start because she just kind of had it in a corner and it wasn't well lit or anything. So all you saw was just the blue part. But when I put it under the lights that I have, in my display case, it was gorgeous. In fact, I shot that video because I wanted to show Kara what it was that, that she, failed to show correctly. Yeah, it's called fluorite, not fluoride, not like the stuff they put in the water. Fluoride. I haven't shown her it yet because I just bought that last weekend and I probably won't see her again until probably won't see it again or see her again until next weekend. I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed to assign gender to rocks. Yeah, I have a lot of green fluorite. There's a nice piece of it too. This one's really cool because I love how you got these little crystal things on the top. You know, I like these raw pieces much more than some of the stuff that's been shaped. Yeah. Problem with scratching the cat is that the fur tends to fly. So I never got an answer to my question. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? You know me, I like to collect rocks. I like to tinker around the garden. I like to make stupid things out of wood. Yeah, I got several pieces of labradorite, including a raw piece. I think I got three pieces that are polished. And she likes the garden. Okay. What do you grow in your garden, Nancy? Okay, what answer didn't I see, Dot? Let me see. Maybe I go back and find it here. I don't know. I guess I missed it. Yeah, I like opals too. I got a couple of opals. Nothing big, nothing spectacular. Somehow Facebook has caught on to the fact that I'm into rocks and minerals, probably because I post a bunch of rocks and minerals on my page. But they keep sending sponsored ads from companies that sell rocks and stuff and crystals and stuff like that. And so I'm always seeing like beautiful opals and beautiful this, that, and the other thing.